Hi everyone, Dr. Nash here. Today's Connection Bite is about a common manifestation post-infection, which is symptoms referred to as brain fog. It's not technically a medical term, but often it involves fatigue, malaise, difficulty concentrating, some memory issues, and certainly mood issues like anxiety and or depression. So there are several mechanisms that may be involved in a post-infectious syndrome that relate to neurological or brain fog symptoms. The first is a disruption of the gut microbiome, which is the entirety of the bacteria that live in your gut, many of which produce a chemical called serotonin, which you may have heard of. Serotonin is a neurotransmitter, meaning it's a chemical messenger that helps different nerve cells communicate with one another in the brain. And a number of bacteria in the gut help you manufacture serotonin, so that can have a profound impact on your brain function, which I actually discuss in another Connection Bite video, which you can check out, which is the gut and serotonin production. But with regards to a post-infectious syndrome, the other mechanism that may impact the ability of serotonin to do a good job in the brain is changes in circulatory patterns and proteins that actually affect what's called the blood-brain barrier, meaning there is a very important protective mechanism in our bodies called the blood-brain barrier that disallows certain molecules and chemicals from penetrating into the central nervous system for obvious reasons, because it's the master controller of our whole body. So during an infection, whether it be viral like influenza or long COVID or other bacterial infections, I certainly see some of this with chronic Lyme disease and other tick-borne diseases. It can damage the blood-brain barrier so that circulatory patterns change, and we know that circulation is damaged in terms of long COVID, and that your blood becomes thicker and therefore isn't able to bathe the brain and other body parts with appropriate circulation of blood and lymph. And certainly in the brain, this can lead to circulatory issues where inflammatory proteins like cytokines and other inflammation factors can penetrate into the brain and cause a continual inflammation of the brain tissue. This is why many people post-infection, even if the acute phase has cleared, there still needs to be support for the regulation of healthy serotonin levels for one, healthy circulation for two, and repair of that blood-brain barrier that I mentioned. So fortunately, there are some pretty amazing, unique approaches to address this. I treat this pretty commonly in my practice, and a lot of it has to do with down-regulating the nervous system and, like I said, supporting cell membrane health. And then really importantly is supporting the drainage of the brain, which does happen a lot at night. So healthy sleep patterns are really important. But you have to come at this from a few different angles, and it can be quite effective if you do, and it makes a huge difference in one's ability to think clearer, be able to focus, have more energy, and work on some of the mood dysregulation that we see. A lot of people report anxiety and insomnia post-infection. Okay, that's all for today. I'm also going to link a really interesting study that came out in February of 2024 in the video notes below a study that was done in Ireland about the effects on the blood-brain barrier specifically. And then I'll also post a link for the serotonin connection as well. Thanks very much.